Hello everyone, I'm Sean Catus. Welcome to The Compassionate Competitor. Each episode will explore the mental, physical, and emotional toll, as well as the rewards that come along with high-performance athletics. From success to shortcomings to transitioning away from the game, we will get an inside look at the whole picture when performing at the peak in the world of sports. High-performance athletics comes with so much more than just a singular mind to perform. Here, we look to see the whole human. On the series premiere of The Compassionate Competitor, I sit in conversation with NFL pro turned father, cowboy, and owner of the R. Hughes Ranch, Robert Hughes.
Brother, Sean.
Man, thanks for coming, bro. Love you, man. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My brother.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for being here, man. First episode, inaugural episode, The Compassionate Competitor, bro. I want to get straight into it. Talk about your childhood, talk about your upbringing, your family, and you know what led you into this world of sports.
Man, there was a lot of it was watching my brother. You know what I mean? Like at an early age, he was playing ball, and in the athletics, we watched TV. You know, you had all your idols, Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, all those guys, Walter Payton, and all those different things. And you know, as a child, when you see that, you know, you got something to strive to try to be. And then, you know, rodeo was also introduced to us at an early age. My father was from Mississippi, and he was in the rodeo and cowboy riding horses, and so and he would take us to rodeos at an early age, and shoot, that just brought out the competitiveness in us.
Right, that's amazing. I remember when I first met you. You were one of the first guys I met. 13. You told me you were baling hay.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that. Yeah. So real quick, we met at Hubbard High School. You were an All-American. Not when we came in, obviously, but you became a U.S. Army All-American.
Yeah.
At 17 years old.
Yeah.
You were the running back. I was the quarterback.
Yeah.
We had a good thing going on back then. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But take me through that, man. For a 17-year-old kid, teenager in Chicago, you're in every magazine. You're on every ranking nationally. We got Pete Carroll coming through the school to see Charlie Weiss. Everybody, Charlie Weiss. What is that like for a teenager with that type of attention? With that type of, I'm sure there's lots of perks to it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some negatives, I don't know.
Yeah.
Take me through what that's like to be 17 on top of the world in this sport.
Man, you know, and a lot of times, you know, I had a circle around me. I was one of the blessed few. You know, I had a brother who had the talent, maybe even better than I did.
Yeah.
I had to set that direction. You know, I had a mother, you know, a praying mother. You know, one who prayed, and you know, she didn't let me mess those things up. You know, she, you know, at times when I would, you know, would skip out on class and teachers call and the grades are slipping, you know, she'd take off work and drive me to school, you know, and hold my hand and get me to class and say, you know, I'm not going to let you mess this opportunity up. You know, I had a support system around me that didn't allow me to kind of like, you know, to get sidetracked by those different endeavors. You know, I had them. You know what I mean? It was all self-brought. You know what I mean? So it was all self-brought upon me, and you know, man, it was challenging, but also, you know, looking back on it, man, it was I was soaking it all in. I didn't even know half of the things that were going on in my life because I kind of was just blinded to it, and I was just kind of pacing and moving throughout life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Man, it sounds like a blessing, man. As a teacher now, I know having that type of circle around you as a young man, man, it probably owe all your success to that, to your mom, to your family, man.
And
you
I
might
fought
not have
it.
had that without it.
I fought it. I fought it a lot, you know. I thought they were overprotective or overbearing, and you know, I was looking at some of my peers who were going out partying and, you know, hanging out and doing some of the things, you know, you hearing all the stories like, oh man, we were here last night and we were at this place, and I'm like, man, like, you know, I was at the ranch, I was farming, I was, you know, taking care of animals, or you know, I'm at home, you know, I got chores to do at home and stuff like that, like, so I didn't have that as you say, that typical childhood, you know, so I had a lot of responsibility at an early age, and you know, looking back at it, I'm grateful for it, but I fought it, you know.
Absolutely, at that time, not knowing better. Teenagers, man. Teenagers with the world in your hands. Yeah. Thank God for our parents in our circle.
Right.
So, U.S. Army All-American at Hubbard High School, the Hubbard High School, I like to say.
Yeah, the Hubbard.
You go into University of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All-American freshman coming in. other guys, other great athletes at all positions. Take me through your Notre Dame years as a freshman coming in, big time, Robert Hughes.
Yeah.
Robert Hughes coming in. Talk to me about that journey through Notre Dame.
As a freshman coming in Notre Dame, man, I was eager to play. You know, and very early in my career, I realized I looked around the room, and I saw it was different. Right, I was different than you know the Notre Dame norm. Right. You know what I mean? So I was. I remember when I first accepted the scholarship to come to Notre Dame, and I had to go meet with the dean of admissions, and I don't think that was typical amongst you know. Right. You know, normally when you get offered a scholarship, they've already hit the checkpoints. Right. They took a chance on me. You know, I graduated with a 2.6 GPA. I wasn't, I didn't put in the best effort as far as school. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I did was self-brought. You know, with me not, trying and stuff like that. So Notre Dame took a chance on me, and I had to go meet with the dean of admissions and Charlie Weiss, which was the head coach at the time. I had to sit down in that office. And I had to promise them that I was going to, put forth my best effort. Okay. And it was like one of those moments. It's like they were like, "Look, we're not supposed to let you in here." But we
like it.
Yeah, but but you're a great kid, and we understand your potential.
Right.
And so here's our one opportunity. We got one of these a year. Right. You're our one.
Oh,
so
my goodness. I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah. So actually Elias Karras was there. Right. Our trainer. We shared a mutual trainer. Right. So he was there with us, right? And so just having that meeting, early in my Notre Dame career, I knew I was different. I knew I was separate from a lot of the other kids. And so, as a freshman, I came in with a chip on my shoulder because I knew, a lot of my former teammates, they all came from, great households, opportunities, prestigious schools, private schools, stuff like that. I came from Hubbard.
They probably had some training going into that.
So,
they were trained for this.
So, I knew that I had to work a little bit harder academically, and also just to prepare myself for the field. Like, I knew I was physically ready, but I had to get the mental part of the game, because a lot of people don't understand like the difference in the Catholic league or the private leagues to public league. The coaching is everything. So, I had to kind of try to speed myself up on as far as learning the game. I knew how to watch the game. I knew how to do all that, all the plays. I knew how to mimic some of the stuff, but I had to really learn football. Right. And that's what I took my time, and I prioritized that early in my career.
Man, that sounds like you realized that really early. I realized that kind of late, that mental part of the game, like realizing that I was a little bit behind and I needed to catch up. Do you think, being there, were there other high-ranked guys at your position, running back?
Oh, yeah.
Were you the highest? And take me through what happened, right, to come in All-American. What is the mental, emotional, it must have been, I imagine, a roller coaster of competing, starting, not starting, getting certain reps, getting more reps, getting less reps. Yeah. What is that like for an 18, 19, 20-year-old guy?
Yeah, we really had some dogs, in our position room. We had, in my class particularly, we had Armando Allen. Me and Armando Allen, Armando Allen, he was from Hialeah, Florida. Okay. He's from Florida, scat back. He was 5'9", 200 pounds, but scat back, so he was a lot different than I was a 5'11", 230-pound running back. Right. We had James Aldridge, who was from St. Louis. He was a great back. He was there year before. Travis Thomas. Yeah. All these guys are also highly ranked guys coming out of high school, running backs.
And so what's that like, though, right? There's only one starter.
It's one
Everybody
guy,
believes they should be starting.
Everybody, yeah.
You go in there, somebody might be starting today, may not be starting next week.
A lot of those guys lie to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, like between you and the players, they know, right, by the plays you make. So, it's very easy to find out who should be on the field and who not.
Because we know.
And it was an interesting stat. No knock on those guys, but it was an interesting stat. When I touched the ball more than 14 times a game, we were winning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a stat that that you can't. That's like the analytics, like Charles Barkley said. You gotta look at that. You gotta look
analytics.
At right. It's stuff you can't compute, right? And so me coming from Chicago, I had a different kind of dog in me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I knew that I had to. I was playing for not only myself, but I was playing for my family, for my for my future. Yeah. So, yeah.
Man, I can relate to that, me going to Cal. Pac-10, I came in, I had 30 D1 offers, wasn't All-American, but I was a guy.
Yeah.
Starting at the bottom, when you say speaking to Chicago, I feel like I had something different in me. You know, I came in, they had Cali guys. The politics, I think a lot of people don't understand. It's politics. If I'm going to California from Chicago, they got in-state guys. They want to make sure that they got playing. So I'm at the bottom. I had to take, to the point, we know who should be playing. I had to take everybody's spot. Till my sophomore year, I'm starting, and now I'm the guy. I had to take it all from everybody. You know, they didn't give me nothing. And one thing that stood out just about the mental, emotional roller coaster in college to me, in my journey, was always 30 D1 offers. I was always a guy. I was never on the fringe. Can he play? I always could play. I'm a guy. But when I got to my preseason, to my going into my senior year, I'm preseason All-American. Fox Sports had me top 30 prospect in the nation. Andrew Luck, number 1. I'm 28, 29, 30. And I remember at that time, something I never felt in my life. Like, dang, my whole life I had to fight to prove. Like, I'm about to ball on these dudes. They treat me, they acting like they don't know who I am. They disrespecting me. I'm about to take everybody's spot. And then once I got, like, oh, I'm the guy now. You know, I'm in all the magazines. I'm top, me, Mark Barnes, a couple safeties, the best safety. And I'm like, I didn't know. The first time I kind of reached that thing I was always trying to prove, and what I realized, man, I saw friends around me change in different ways. I saw some distant family members popping up. Remember when I went to your games and all of this, coaches kind of start changing. You know, sometimes even there's a little change. I'm like, coaches, not necessarily in a bad way, it's just different. And I remember like just being real saddened by it and scared. Scared, man. I realized, you know, I had what I realized years later, like, man, I think it was like imposter syndrome. Like, man, this don't happen to me. Even though I worked my whole life for it, like, man, my family nobody make it. I'm about to be a millionaire. Like, and so some self-sabotage maybe even. So there was a little bit of fear of success for me and fear of failure, all mixed in one. And I realized in hindsight, just as an educator now, like, man, had I had someone guide me through that just mentally, like I didn't have nobody to, top agents flying to West Oakland to meet me. And I'm like, it's a lot for a 22-year-old person, because now it's a business. It's college. It's a business now. And we're not taught how to navigate any of that, so it's a lot. And it's like mental, emotional more than anything, man. But it's deep. And then without some guidance, without someone to kind of mold you and that's been there, especially, it's tough to navigate once you get into those really deep to the business of the game. College and up, you need some support, man, and I wish I had that. No regrets, but
it's one thing I you know, as your teammate, as a person, you know, that played with you, that know you, and has been through the trenches, you know, and I've always admired this about you, but you know, you carry the burden of making everything perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, as a quarterback, you wanted everything to be right. You always want to know your job. You know what I mean? And you know, it's okay to allow yourself to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I can make a mistake. You know,
I'm good.
You know, and live through it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big part of it. You know, was living through it. You know, and you know, that's one thing that I realized, that you know, that you had that innate ability to take on the problems of others and stuff like that. You know, so
man, I appreciate that perspective, brother. I think I've just now gotten, as an adult, giving myself the freedom and the grace to, man, I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna do my best, and it took me to adulthood to have to do that, man. So I appreciate that, bro.
Man.
So going into the NFL, man, leaving Notre Dame, you're now undrafted. What's the team? Who picked you up? Talk a little bit about your journey. Who picked you up? What did it look like?
Like we talk about self-sabotage. Man, like, you know, when I had a coaching change, Charlie Weiss got fired. He was there for 3 years. He got fired, and then Coach Kelly came in. So Brian Kelly, and you know, it was, you know how it is. They all want their guys in. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it. You got to keep it young, right? So why would they play a senior? You know, when they got these other guys that they can, you know, get playing time. You know, he's got a 3-4 year contract, and so, you know, my playing time diminished. You know, I didn't know if I was gonna have a shot to get to the league. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I messed it up because I had, you know, I had bad practice habits. You know, and that was something that I had to, you know, I had to realize, you know, that you know that you got to prove yourself every day.
Every day.
You know, and I wasn't the best at that. You know, I'm like, hey, look at the stats. You know, like you know, I just ran for 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, I shouldn't have to kill myself in practice, and you know, and do. But that's not how. I was maybe about 5-6 years ahead of my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now, that's a thing where everybody kind of just throttle through practice and get through. You know, and then save it for the game.
Right.
I was ahead of my time. I was back. You know, we was two-a-days. Two-a-days. You know, inside run thud with all these different dynamics. But I had bad practice habits. I would cruise through and not prove myself. Yeah. And that almost took my shot of my NFL dreams away. Yeah. And so, fast forward to my senior year USC game. We played USC at Southern Cal, which actually I think you came to.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so it was a rain game, and we had Sierra Wood, who was a running back for us. He was a high-rated running back from California.
Okay.
And he was kind of like the man at the time, and so and we had a rule: you fumble, come out the game, no matter what. I don't care how good of a game you fumble, you out. Next man in. Oh. And so, this is our rival game, and Sierra fumbled, And I took one look to my left, and I see the rest of the running backs. Everybody's face kind of shook. I'm like, I'm gone, right? Right. So, I took off from the sideline. I can look as I'm running on the field. We get our plays from the field. The guys holding up the signs and And so as I get about 20 yards into the field, I flip around. I start backpedaling, trying to catch the play, and I catch a look at my running back coach, Tony Alford. As we look at it, he was trying to figure out why these other young guys, they too young, coach, they not ready. You know what I'm saying?
Just took it.
I took it. And so, I took the opportunity, man, and I led us down on a game-winning drive.
Has it just outside the 5-yard line. Hughes now the single setback behind Tommy Reese. And he'll get the call. Hughes up the middle. Touchdown, Notre Dame. And it was Robert Hughes doing most of the damage.
I had the ball. I toted it into the end zone. I was not being denied at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that made Coach Kelly realize at that point that, okay, look, it's something different about that guy. Right. I need to get him into I need to find some way. And so then they started playing. So then we had to went to the bowl game, Miami, 100-yard game. So then I realized I had my second chance. To prove myself. Right. And so I took that into the draft and to preparing myself. I was always a guy that had to battle. I was always what they call a tweener. Between the fullback and the running back, I was a power back. So, I took that momentum into the off season, into training and getting ready for the draft. Got down to 230. Right. I'm bench pressing. I'm running as fast as I could, and so then we had the NFL draft. I got called in the 3rd round by Coach, a scout named Kelly, and for the Indianapolis Colts. They called me in the 3rd round, and they called me at the first day. They called me and was like, hey, if you're available tomorrow, 3rd round, we want to grab you. We like what you did, we like what your film and everything. So, but it didn't come into fruition because there was another running back available at that time who they were higher on, which was DeLone Carter, running back, and so. Fast forward, that happens all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't too down on it. I just knew my opportunity come, and I knew that, I knew from the first time, during the Weiss era, and to now, I knew if somebody let me in the camp, that I was gonna I was gonna change everybody's perspective and change everybody's view. So, I just sat back patiently, waited. I never got discouraged. I never was, like. Down on what was going on. I was waiting. I was patiently waiting. And so then my opportunity came when I got with the Bears. Unfortunately, we were on a lockout, so we didn't have OTAs, mini camp. We didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah. And I get to camp. I get free agent. I had a workout with the Bears. They signed me. Right. A couple days later, we in camp. So
quick. Yeah,
I'm in camp. I got Brian Urlacher. I got Lance Briggs. Right. I got Nick Roach. I got all these guys that and they were all balling in their respective times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm competing against these guys on one-on-one drills, and I'm holding my own. So I know I'm like, okay, I'm biding my time. Yeah, like you know, this is my opportunity. So, you know, we unfortunately, because we didn't have that OTA camp, you know, so they not playing us for those 3 weeks. They playing all these other guys, draft picks and you know, and guys that they hire on their radar. So I'm sitting back watching other guys make their mistakes and learning from it, you know. And then it come to the last preseason game, I ball out 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, you know. So you know, and you know, that kind of plateaued me through the next opportunity, and I just kept fighting, you know, kept fighting and praying, you know. So
you ended up going how many years? 5?
6.
6 years. You ended up having 6 years, man. 6 years credited. I think people don't understand that if you're not a drafted guy, like a priority guy, they invested money in you. Like I could be better than the second round safety when we're playing, but he's second round. They're gonna give him a lot more shots. And the few shots that I have to be perfect. So it's like if you're not one of those guys, you have to be even more outstanding and consistent to get that shot that guys who come in, rightfully so, they earned it. But the politics of not being a guy that's so high up, you got to be perfect with less reps and be outstanding to really stick, especially in the time where you're not having time to be coached up, be with the team, get that, you know, start gelling with the team, the lockout. So going from high school, navigating All-American, coming into Notre Dame in college, coming in All-American, battling with other top guys, earning some good reps and some time, coming into the league, grinding it out, being able to come in undrafted and create a 6-year career for yourself. We spoke to it a little bit, but for people watching that don't, for anyone that's not in it with us, what are the biggest things that you think people outside don't understand about high performance athletics? Like what are the, you know, I think a lot of times people think these guys are either paid or they have this, they should do this or shouldn't do that, or I don't think a lot of people understand all that goes into it and how mentally, emotionally draining and even traumatizing it could be to exist there over time. Is there anything that comes to mind for folks who didn't live it? Like what are the biggest things, the first things that you think of and like they just don't know what it is to exist in this realm?
Man, like when football is all you know as an athlete, you know, you just get wrapped up into the system and going through the routine of training your body, working out, eating right, doing, you know what I mean, like going through that day-to-day routine. And, you know, man, it just sometimes it don't allow you to be you. You know what I'm saying? It don't allow you that space to, you know, like you say, to mess up. You know, you got to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, you know, you got to hold the schedule. You got to do all these different things. You got to be perfect in that realm. And a lot of people don't understand that mental toll that it takes. You know what I'm saying? So
lots of pressure too.
Yeah, and I know a lot on me. You know, it was you know, just going out partying and you know, and hanging around, you know, different people that, you know, that don't necessarily have the best for you. You know, dealing with different women and you know, just being a womanizer, being, you know, going out and doing different things like that, or however that may look for your certain person. You know, you know, drinking and getting out of routine, doing stuff that necessarily wouldn't, you know, that you necessarily not about. And you know, a lot of people don't get that mental space that people got to get to compete at that level. You know, and
I hear you, man. I think, man, I totally understand that. I remember transitioning into the league, having a little money. Like coming back to the point, if we're not molded and shown how to navigate that, you're gonna make a lot of errors and mistakes. Moving out of the league, for me, I'll speak about for me, just as we close, I remember going through depression, substance abuse, just waking up a lot of days kind of soon after release for about a year time, 6 months to a year, just feeling like I don't want to wake up every day. And the big thing for me was this identity crisis of, I don't know who I am without this game. Like I've done this since I was 6 years old. And as I've done the work, thank God I've been able to still be here alive, overcome substance abuse and some heavy things I dealt with. But just coming out the other side, having people around me that love me, to remind me that I'm worth something when I didn't think I was worth anything myself. doing a lot of this work, being able to have therapy, coming out the other side, man, I realize just how grateful I am navigating all of that. Did you have any dark moments? Speaking to the mental, emotional, the trials that you...
Man, you know, I constantly go through mine, you know, and it's a process, even still. Even still, it's, you know, there's no game plan, there's no book, there's no script on how to move forth. So, you know, we just try to, you know, go through as best we can, man, and you know, and deal with it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? Like on a everyday basis, like, you know, you deal with different mental, you know, let down highs and lows, and you know that's a part. And you know, me too. You know, I seeked out help and got into therapy, and I'm realizing that every day can't be perfect.
You've transformed it, bro, in a lot of ways with what you're doing now. Can you speak to, is there a healing component to the Rodeo for Lives that you're doing? You know, taking your journey and all that you've learned and what you now provide to communities and people.
Yeah, I mean,
is there? Tell me about that, transitioning from NFL, going through your dark times, and now you've come into
like not having something and being able to get back to your roots. When you have that game of football, your love, all that passion and that energy you put into one thing, that being taken away. You know, whether it be by injury or by contractual or whatever may have you. You know, you got to find something else that you could dump that time, that energy into, and that's why you see a lot of guys that play ball go coach, or you know, or teaching youth programs or doing different things like that. And I was into the sport of rodeo first. You know what I'm saying? And being around those horses, around those animals, give me that space of quiet. You know what I mean? Like it quiet down the rest of the world, and I wanted to show that to other athletes, to other kids, to other people that's, you know, that don't necessarily have that opportunity for that exposure. And so, you know, that's what I just try to do for that. You know, and like I said, I constantly go through mine on the day, and that's why, you know, sometimes when I'm not leveled out, not right, I need to go out to the ranch. I need to be around an animal. I need to be around a horse.
Well, good man. I commend you for that, bro. We've both done the work.
Man.
We've lived a great career and life in sports, man. I love you, brother. I'm proud of you. You're a Chicago legend, man.
I love you
Robert
too,
Hughes, bro. You're a legend. You're a legend to me. I love you, bro. Thank you for being on, man. And Compassionate Competitor, episode 1.
Episode 1, yes, sir.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Munson, inviting you to join me and my Chief of Staff, Justin James, and the band with no name to the series premiere of Munson Tonight. We'll do our level best to make politics make sense. Join the conversation Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on CAN-TV Cable Channel 19, or stream live on cantv.org, or on the new CAN-TV Plus app. Hyper-local news and public affairs. Experience the power of community television.
Hello, I'm Rich Robbins, inviting you to join me for the series Soft and Tender. Soft and Tender celebrates the resilience and emotional depth of Black fatherhood, offering a powerful narrative on family bonds and ongoing challenges faced by Black communities.
As a father and as a parent in general, you have to know that you're not going to always understand, and that's okay.
Tune in on CAN-TV Cable Channel 19, or stream at cantv.org or the CAN-TV Plus app. Experience the power of community television.
Thank you, Chicago, for joining the conversation tonight. Until next time, live your dreams like they actually matter, because they really do. Good night.